Hello everybody and welcome back to Mythic Ocean. We are moving on to our next good ending, which will be Alethea. So it's going to take me a while to get there, but be assured I'm going for the good ending for everyone. I'm also going to be testing out a few things on my end to see if I can replicate how I got achievements for the achievement guide. It seems like a lot of you guys wanted that, so I'm going to try to do that. And if there are any other games I've beaten that you want achievement guides to, let me know. I will love to do some more, especially for others who might be like us, struggling to figure out that one last achievement, and you just do anything to get that one last achievement. We gotta help them out. But with that all out of the way, let's get started. Oh, hey there, friend. Over here. Good timing. I wanted to show you something. See that big door behind me? The one who built it does a lot of experiments in the ocean, and when she's away from her lab in the mid-seas, she keeps this door here locked down. Now it's unlocked, which means you should be able to head through and see what's out there. Me, I prefer it here where the water's warmer and brighter, but I know you like to travel and see new things, so you'll probably love it. Just wanted to let you know. Take it easy. Thanks, Amar. Alright, it's finally time to start talking to Alethea. Meow. Ooh, spooky door. It's always such a cool view. And then the Hello out there! Yes, you! I can see you! If you'd like to talk, please address the loudspeaker near the main entrance. Got it. I will shimmy my way over there. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Now then, any particular reason you're loitering outside my lab? It caught my attention. I haven't seen anything else like it in the ocean. Is that so? Well, I can't say I blame you. This station of mine is one of a kind. How can I help you then? I'd like to learn more about this place. Ha! I don't really do tours. Much too busy for that. But you're welcome to have a look while I work if you like. You'll just need to let me scan you beforehand. Safety protocol. That okay with you? Makes sense. Oh wait, no, let me ask how it works. How does the scanning procedure work? The information I collect will only be used to assess you as a potential threat. Nothing personal. It's how I keep the lab safe. I'll keep the data for archival purposes, but that's all there is to it. Does that seem fair? Makes sense. Let's do it. Very good. I'm going to open the first door in front of you. Just step in once you're ready. Okie dokie. Meow. Perfect. Now stay right there. You won't be able to move during the procedure, but don't worry. It only takes a few seconds. Whoa! Why are you crying? I can't move to pet you! What's the matter? Here. You are such a baby. Oh my goodness. Sorry, Alethea, I was distracted by Cat. Crybaby Cat. Alright. And... that teleporter you're carrying. It's one of my old prototypes. Well, no worries. Feel free to keep it. The version I'm using now is much better. Oh my god! Alright! I'm here. Anyway, the scan results are looking good. Congratulations, you're not an obvious threat. I'll open the second door for you. Just follow the tunnel straight ahead. Up. And then... up. At last, we meet face to face. Please have a look around. There's lots to see here. And lots of things to knock over. Oh, you can turn them on. And just spin the chair. I'm gonna push these buttons. Hey, yeah. Okay, there we go. I'm calm now. I just have a lot of energy, you know. Goodness, I haven't even introduced myself yet. I'm Alethea, and this is my humble workspace. And you are? I'm still trying to figure that out. The process of self-discovery never ends, does it? Wait, did you mean that literally? You really have no idea who you are? Pretty much. I've got a few leads, but I'm still piecing them together. Fascinating. Trying to imagine what that would be like. Oh, you have no idea, Alethea. You're trapped in this place too. The station I built. The work I do here, these things anchor me and remind me of who I am. Without them, I'm not sure what I'd do. Anyway, I'm glad you've made some progress. You said you wanted to know more about the lab, correct? Might I ask why you're interested? This place is totally unique. I wanted to know more about who made it. Well, I certainly appreciate that. As it happens, I've been trying to unravel the mysteries of our world for a long time. That's why I built the station. It's a home base where I can conduct my studies. I'm doing some research now that might interest you, in fact. Feel free to ask me about anything. Okay, we're gonna go all the way in. We want to raise her friendship, and we want to just be a nerd with her. We're gonna nerd out, and this time we're not gonna enable her to do bad things. We're just gonna be two awesome, moral nerds. How did you build this place? Believe me, it's been an arduous process. The final result's impressive though, isn't it? It even impresses me sometimes. But the station wasn't always as it is now. It's in a constant, never-ending state of refinement. And the most important tool of all is my fabricator. You may have seen it already. It's the golden structure built on the rocks above the water surface. It's what allows me to manufacture my creations with such precision, including the lab itself. How does the fabricator work? You can't just make something from nothing, right? You're on the right track. Here's how it works. The fabricator requires source materials. When I'm on expeditions in the ocean, I'm always looking for new things to feed it. Organics, rocks, metals, it can break down just about anything and reconstitute it. I can also provide it with schematics so it knows how to build what I have in mind. Then I just fit the parts together and make sure they all work as intended. Sometimes they don't. No catastrophic failures yet, thankfully. How did you ever create something like that? I fear we'd be here for far too long if I got into the nitty-gritty on that. Suffice to say, it was one of my greatest breakthroughs. Shall we discuss something else? Tell me about the huge telescope underneath this room. Oh, the telescope! It's got a way of catching the eye, doesn't it? As you may have noticed, the bottom of the lab has a metal housing to keep the telescope safe. There's a switch down there you can use to open or close it. Give it a try sometime. As for its purpose, I built the telescope to see faraway things above the surface more clearly. But I wanted to try scanning the seafloor with it as well. It's hard to travel too deep because of the water pressure. Much safer to view it all from here. But how do you see what's on the seafloor when it's so dark down there? Exactly! That's the problem I had to solve. Of course, you can't see it at all without light. But I was curious whether anything on the seafloor might be giving off just a tiny bit. Less than with my eyes would see, even with magnification. So I outfitted the telescope with a system to pick up light, convert it into electricity, and then amplify it before turning it back into an image. And that did the trick! There is something down in the depths that projects halos of light. They're very faint, but they're there. I have no idea what the source is. Still looking into it. Sounds mysterious. Good luck. I'll keep at it. Shall we discuss something else then? Tell me about the glowing floating sheet above the station. Ah, yes! It's my solar sail. Have you ever wondered what provides the station with power? The answer is the sun. The sail is made of a flexible material covered in solar cells. The top of the sail has a negative charge, while the bottom has a positive charge. When the sunlight hits the sail, the resulting reaction creates a flow of electricity between the two layers. Then all I have to do is tap into that flow to power everything. Voila! But there isn't much sunlight down here. How does that affect all this? Good question. That's the challenge I was facing. Believe it or not, this station can move. I can raise it to the water surface or submerge it as necessary. At the surface, it's easy to capture lots of sunlight, but the deeper you go, the darker it gets, right? So I experimented with many different sail materials to harness solar energy more efficiently. But that wasn't enough. I also had to develop high-capacity batteries to store the power I generate at the surface, where the sunlight is plentiful. Come to think of it, my station is a bit like a whale. It can dive to impressive depths, but it has to return to the surface periodically to recharge. That's amazing. Thanks for telling me about it. My pleasure. Shall we discuss something else then? Okay, so tell me about your research. I'd be glad to. Not long ago, my instruments picked up some energy signals I didn't recognize. These signals were coming from the deep ocean, hundreds of fathoms below the lab. Shortly afterward, a cloud of strange, organic debris appeared in the mid-sea's water. I took some samples of the debris right away. I've been eager to study these samples and see whether they're connected to the signal somehow, but sadly, I've been too swamped lately. If you're short on the time for the project, maybe I can help? Nonsense! We've only just met! I can't put you out like that! Although... Do you know Amar by any chance? Or the twins, Ketri and Esty? Yeah, I know all three of them. Good. I've done various kindnesses for them in the past, and they all owe me favors. They were supposed to help me around the lab, but none of them have bothered to show up yet. At any rate, I could use an assistant on my current project, so perhaps you could speak to one of them for me. Doesn't matter who. It's a very simple task. Is that something I could entrust to you? Sure, no problem. Excellent! Very much appreciated. Once you're able to convince someone, send them directly here. They'll know where to find me. Sounds good. One more thing to talk about. Have you seen the big pod in the moss cavern? Yes, I've seen the strange pod. It's a fascinating thing. It even seems alive, doesn't it? I'd like to examine it further, but I've been reluctant to disturb it. I found out there's a little bug called Lutra that was living inside of it. Really? That sounds remarkable. Would you say it seems safe to go there now? Could I take a few samples in that area of the caves without worrying? Lutra seems totally harmless to me. You'll be fine. Excellent. I'm going to make a few preparations and then I'll be off. Thanks for the information. No problem. Want to talk about something else? Oh, no, wait. We don't have anything else. I have stuff to talk about, though. So, I'm going to be cutting out mostly everything of everyone, including Lutra's feeding frenzy, because I want to have Gnosis in this episode. Since Gnosis's whole storyline is so intrinsically linked with Alethea's and the Breach, this is going to be their feature episode kind of as well, but we already know what their ending looks like. We've gotten it in the past because I always push the red button, as I've talked about before, so we will have Gnosis in this episode, and then that will be the end of it for Gnosis. And then we'll go back to showing off as much as we can with the twins. But yeah, any side stuff with the other characters is gonna be cut out for now. We have to focus on Alethea, and she talks a lot, and I talk a lot, and Gnosis talks a lot, so let's go. Well, well, well. This place is incredible. The life forms here are like nothing else in the ocean. I can't wait to study these stamples back at the lab. Stamples. Oh, my baby. Hey, what's wrong? This one missed familiar one. I'm here now. Did something happen? Strange new one is in cave. New one brought device. Device using one came here to take things. Device using one is taking things now. The device using one said she only wants to take a few things to learn about them. Familiar one believes words of device using one? I'm not sure yet. Why? This one also lacks certainty. After taking things, device using one approached this one. Device using one used strange machine. This one could not move. This one was not asked first. This one had very great fear. Many lights appeared, moved back and forth. This one could not struggle, could not leave. Then over. This one could move again, so went inside pod. I'm so sorry that happened. Did you say anything to the device using one? No, nothing to say. Too much fear. I think you should tell device using one how you feel. Would you be up for that? This one considers. Will this one have safety? Does certainty exist that device using one listens? Maybe device using one tries harming this one. I'll go over to device using one first, and you can follow me. I'll make sure you're safe. Oh, acceptance. This one takes risk. Familiar one ensures safety. I do. Alright, Alethea, you're gonna learn that your actions have consequences. Come on, it's okay. You're still so adorable. I know it's not your root anymore, but look at you, you're so cute. Oh, sorry, I'm in the way. My word! This creature can speak with others telepathically. It seems I've made an unfortunate mistake. Scanning life forms, including animals, is standard procedure for me in new places. If they appear capable of speech, I always ask for their permission. But I had no indication the larva could communicate. So I upset it greatly by scanning it without an explanation. I'm sorry this happened, my friend. That's alright. I'm glad you understand what went wrong. Indeed. And the larva told me you convinced it to speak with me. Thank you for that. Perhaps I could develop a quick scanning device that wouldn't require the subject to remain still for so long. Until then, I will exercise more care. But for now, I must get back to the lab. See you shortly. We did good, kid. Maybe understanding. Much relief. Alright, I'm gonna go get the twins to go help Alethea, because that'll speedrun the process of fixing their crystal. The favor has been requested. Good to see you again. Anything you'd like to talk about? Have you examined your samples from the moss cavern yet? Yes, I've looked at them closely, and I must say, the results have changed many of my basic assumptions about the ocean. But first, let me thank you for helping me understand Lutra better. I'll be thinking differently about how to approach unfamiliar life forms in the future. Now then, would you like to hear about my findings? Yes, please. Excellent. Let's start with the basics. All those odd fern-like plants growing near Lutra's pods are very unusual. I can't stress that enough. The fern cells have more in common with the pod than anything else in the ocean. I suspect the pod somehow created the ferns, possibly via waterborne spores. That makes sense. There were ferns growing inside the pod too, but Lutra had to leave because they stopped growing. Yes, exactly. I did see the remains of many well-eaten ferns in that pod. So, if the pod, the ferns, and even Lutra have so little in common with other life in the ocean, my hypothesis is that they all came from somewhere else. Another planet, perhaps. Another world. I don't know how that's possible, but I can't think of a better explanation. Wow, I never considered that. Amazing, isn't it? But if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear what I discovered about Lutra itself. Shall I explain? Yes. Very good. I think you'll find this quite fascinating. As you know, Lutra is capable of telepathic communication. So far, this seems to be a one-way thing. It can speak to us, but it can't read our minds. However, the data I gathered suggests that parts of Lutra's brain that grant this power are underdeveloped. They're likely to grow substantially at some point, and who knows what it'll be capable of then. That's exciting! I agree. I'm excited to see what happens with this little creature. Finally, here's the last tidbit, and it's a doozy. Within its body, Lutra has what we call imaginal cells. These cells will one day transform into new body parts as Lutra takes on a different form. In other words, Lutra is meant to undergo metamorphosis, which isn't too surprising. But it gets weirder! These imaginal cells of Lutra seem to be in a constant state of shifting and changing. I have no idea what to make of this. Maybe there are many different things it could turn into depending on its environment. Your guess is as good as mine, Alethea. Better, probably. My guesses are very well informed, that's true. Thank you for listening, my friend. It's a joy sharing these findings with someone else. Anytime. I'm gonna head out now, because I'm gonna go visit Amar, and I'm sure nothing bad has happened in the time it's taken me to talk to you about our friend. Oh no. Alethea, the kelp forest is in trouble. I was wondering if I could get your help. Oh? What kind of trouble? Well, Lutra left the moss cavern for the forest to find more food, and it was eating huge amounts of kelp. I was able to get it to stop, but it's still very hungry. Goodness, that does sound like a potential crisis. Has Lutra grown bigger by any chance? Yeah, and Amar and I noticed it was larger than it was used to. Big baby. Just as I thought. I bet it's getting ready to start its metamorphosis. My studies of Lutra suggested this would happen sooner or later. It's eating all this food to fuel the amazing transformation that will soon take place. Fascinating, but is there any way we could stop it from devouring the whole forest? Right, certainly. We don't want that to happen. Well, it seems to me that Lutra was meant to feed on something else once it was done with the ferns. Perhaps if we could give it something more nutritious, it wouldn't have to eat so much. Can you enhance the ferns somehow so they could feed Lutra better? That's a good thought. The problem is, though the ferns contain the right nutrients for Lutra, they aren't substantial enough to support its growth anymore. However, I did once find a strange plant in the mid-seas with large edible fruits. These fruits were unusually nutrient-dense. I might be able to create a crossbreed that combines the best qualities of the ferns and the nutritious fruits. Ideally, a small number of these hybridized plants would sustain Lutra for the rest of its feeding frenzy. Great, let's do that! Unfortunately, I can't have these new plants ready immediately. I have machines that can speed up the growth process, but it's still going to take some time. While we're waiting on that, is there any danger Lutra will go back to eating all the kelp? I think it'll be okay. It seems to understand the importance of not eating everything in the forest now. Good. I'll get to work then. The plants will be delivered to the kelp forest as soon as they're ready. Thanks so much, Alethea. I don't know what we would have done without you. Not a problem, my friend. I care about Lutra. I want it to do well. I don't know how it ended up in the ocean, but I don't think it chose to be here. So I'm happy to help make our world more habitable for it. Shall we talk about something else? No, make the plants. I'll be back. Go make plants. Goodbye. After a while, Alethea showed up. It was pretty wild, friend. She brought a ton of plants with her. Stuff I've never even seen anywhere else before. Lutra went totally crazy for the new plants. You should have seen it. Just when I thought it might never stop eating, it was finally full. And it headed back to Moss Cavern like nothing ever happened. Nice. Since then, I've been busy making the rounds in the forest. Some folks are a little rattled, of course, but everyone seems to be okay. Aw, yeah. This one will only share one more thing that was seen. And that is, device-using one wants to find something. Thing device-using one wants is in deepest, darkest place. Does familiar one know? No, Alethea hadn't told me anything about that. This one tried to see what was in the dark place. Something stopped this one. Only darkness was seen. A familiar one goes to that place. This one thinks greatest caution should be used. I see. Thank you, Lutra. I'll be very careful. I return. Good to see you again. How did the lab work go? Very nicely. Better than I'd hoped, even. The first task was to compare the samples I found recently to others I've collected. I needed my assistants to view them all under a microscope and note any differences. The twins were unexpectedly eager. They asked to see some of my own sample notes so they'd know how it was done. After that, they did quite well. I reviewed their comparisons and I may need to double-check a few things, but that's all right. The second task was a bit trickier, but I felt the twins were up to it as long as I was supervising. I needed the samples exposed to various external influences, such as heat, cold, and electricity. With careful notes taken on the results, of course. They were even more excited for this part, Esty especially so. Yeah, Esty likes fire. He'd get along with Emily. I took the notes for them so they could concentrate on safe procedure, but everything got done a lot faster with their help. Thanks for making this happen, my friend. Of course. I'm glad to hear things went smoothly. Indeed. Alright, I think that's all I have for now. I assume I have to come back oh yeah, I need to talk to them and get warned about you. We wanted to tell you about this other thing, because it's kind of weird. We didn't mention it yet, but Alethea wanted us to help because she did us some favors before. And, well, one reason we kind of didn't want to go back is because of what we saw. What did you see? Well, we were outside the lab and we saw Alethea with a fish. Maybe one who lived nearby? Yeah, and Alethea had some kind of device. We couldn't see it too well. But she pointed it at the fish and the fish just disappeared and never came back. It was really weird. I don't know why she would have done that. I guess maybe it was some kind of experiment? But was that fish really okay with it? And where did it go? Yeah, it made us pretty upset, new friend. We just thought you should know. I agree. That sounds pretty strange. Thank you both for telling me. Don't worry, I'm gonna take care of this. I just gotta get kidnapped, kind of. I've heard things about you, and they make me— Hey, you fix these? No. These things will be on the floor, and you will like it. Okay. Anyway, what's up? Good to see you again. Do you find any connections between the samples and the signals of the deep ocean? As a matter of fact, yes. All my tests suggest the signals and the organic debris came from the same place on the ocean floor. I believe some kind of electromagnetic pulse occurred down there, sending the signals and debris far and wide. My readings also indicate that whatever the source is, it's capable of generating huge amounts of energy. Such a power supply would be indispensable if I could harness it. It might be just the breakthrough I need. Why do you need all that energy? I thought you might ask, and I can't blame you. I'd be curious too. Oh no, is it existential dread time? But in order to give you an answer, I need to explain a few things. You may have wondered why I've been so driven in my research. There are wondrous things here in the ocean, yes, but there's more to it than that. Have you ever noticed that our world almost never changes? Think about the kelp forest or the coral reef. These places are exactly as they've always been. No one can remember a time when things were different, and no one ever leaves. I fear we're all trapped here in a sort of endless dream or illusion. If there's a purpose to this place, none of my research has given me any clues so far. I want to learn the truth about the ocean, my friend. I have plans for an overhaul of this lab that will vastly increase my data gathering capabilities, but the new energy demands will far outstrip what the solar sail can currently provide. So that's why you need this energy source in the depths. Correct! You might recall that your teleporter is one of my old prototypes. I could modify it to enable transport to the energy source. I know its exact coordinates from tracing signals during my studies. If you might be willing to help me, perhaps you could investigate the source and report back with what you find. It's a big ask, I know, but with your help I could get so much done on my equipment upgrades in the meantime. What do you say? Sounds good, I'm in. Splendid, I'm glad to hear it. I'll modify your teleporter right away. It'll only take a moment. There, all set. I've outfitted the teleporter with some basic data sensors as well, so we can examine those readings when you get back. Thank you, my friend. I can't wait to hear about your findings. All right, off I go. I'm sure nothing bad is gonna happen to me. Whee! Hey, buddy. Have I mentioned I don't like you? I'm sure I have many times. It's gonna make this all the more fun. At last, you have found me again. As always, you do not remember who I am. Allow me to remind you. I am Gnosis, and I am glad you've returned. There is much to discuss. I came here looking for an energy source. Yeah, like whatever you were just saying, I don't care. Yes, I know. I myself am the energy source Alethea seeks. The radiation and charged debris she analyzed were scattered by my awakening. I see. That's awkward. Perhaps. She does not realize what I am, after all. But her research does not worry me. It is highly unlikely she will find a way to harness my power. How do you know me? We have met before, countless times. I do not remember most of these encounters. You do not recall any. This is how it happens, each and every time. Why don't I remember you? I'm afraid I cannot answer that. My mediations here have allowed me to recover memories I once thought were lost. But most of them remain broken and fragmented, for reasons I do not comprehend. I need more time, and perhaps more resources to repair the rest. Well then, now that we are reacquainted, I expect you wish to return to Alethea. You will have much to report. But in the future, there may be a way you can assist me in recovering my memories. I am still considering this. I will notify you when I have reached my conclusions. Alright, I'll keep an eye out. That's a lie. I'm not helping you. Good. We shall speak again soon. Time for SpaghettiOs! Ooh, that sound always gives me chills. The breach! The breach is so cool. I gotta be honest. I really love the look of the breach. Just all the floatingness and how this kind of looks like a corpse flower. But maybe that's just me. Is it a corpse flower? I think it has a different name, but it looks like a flower, right? Anyway, I know what to do here. We'll get this done real quick and then we can go and interrogate Alethea. Whoa! Oh, never mind. Not used to seeing anyone new here. But we do lose folks sometimes. If you see anyone who looks lost, tell them to come back here. It's not good to be near the edges of this place for too long. I'll keep an eye out for them. I believe there is one... They're both on the other side. We go down here for one of them. I like to go far out and then whoop down into the mercury. Who are you? Does stuff change around here after all? I came from outside this place. I don't know how I got here. There's an outside? Do you think maybe I came from there too? I'm sorry, I don't know. I'm having trouble putting my thoughts together. Just feels like everything's falling apart, you know? Yeah, I feel it too. Let's get to the middle of this place. It's safer there. I got no idea what you're talking about. You go. I'll stay here for now. How about following me back? Do you think I can manage if I showed you the way? Yeah, maybe. Let's give it a shot. I'll do my best to keep up. Okay, let me know if I'm going too fast. Alright, that's one. The other one... Where is he? Use my scanning powers. We'll go across. Meow. Over there. We landed in a good spot. Oh no. I'm in a rock. There you are, you're so tiny.
Oh, hello up there. Or down there, as the case may be. I feel like I used to know which directions were which, but not anymore.
It's not safe out here. You should get closer to the middle of this place, where things are more stable.
Oh, I don't know about that. I'm not even sure how I got on this rock in the first place.
That's okay. If you don't mind, I could carry you back.
Really? I'd appreciate that a lot, if it's not too much trouble.
Not at all. Let's head back, huh? Man, I'm so glad that I saved you guys. And now we're all trapped here together. How terrible. Just kidding. See ya! I thought I left my asshole energy back in the other playthrough, but... I didn't. Hey, what's up? I got kidnapped. Kind of.
You're back! I'm glad you've returned safely. How did it go?
I made some unexpected discoveries.
Just what I like to hear. Please tell me everything.
First things first, the energy source you've been after is called Gnosis. We talked for a while.
You... what? I had considered that the energy source might be alive, but it's intelligent? You were able to speak with it?
Yes, and it seems like Gnosis is even aware you've been studying them.
My word! This is a bit overwhelming.
I understand, but there's something else I saw that I want to ask you about.
Oh? Please go on.
When I tried to leave the depths, the teleporter malfunctioned somehow. It took me to a strange, distorted place I've never seen before.
I see. What did you find there?
There were fish and other creatures. It seemed they had been stuck there for a long time. Some weren't very coherent.
That sounds terrible and frightening. How did you get back?
The teleporter started working again after I'd been there for a bit. I'm not sure what fixed it.
Very strange. Perhaps the teleporter sensor data will provide me with more clues. I'll investigate when I have time.
You seem nervous, Alethea. Are you sure you don't know anything more about all this?
Well... I can't be certain, but there's a chance one of my past experiments might have caused this.
I think I know what you mean. Ketri and Esty told me they saw you experimenting on a fish once and it disappeared.
I didn't realize they'd witnessed that. Alright, let me explain. What Ketri and Esty saw was one of my early experiments, teleportation. The
The purpose of these tests was to find a safe way out of the ocean, which didn't work out, of course. I must stress that all my participants were willing, and I made sure they understood the risks. For instance, I theorized that a teleport subject could end up stuck somewhere, an unknown place outside normal boundaries of the ocean, a breach in the fabric of reality, if you will. But it was only a theory, and not a likely one. At any rate, because of these risks, it was hard to find willing subjects. But there will always be those adventurous enough to brave the unknown, just as you and I do. But didn't you check up on the participants afterwards? You must have noticed some had gone missing. I did! In almost every case, I confirmed the subject had been teleported somewhere safe. But yes, there were a few whom I never found. I suppose the poor souls you met in the breach were the missing ones. It is horrible they met such a fate, but we are all trapped in this ocean anyway. That research had to be done, and their safety was never guaranteed. They knew the risks. There must be some way to help them. I don't know as though there is. I have no idea how I'd replicate the teleporter malfunction that sent you to the breach. I don't even know what caused it. Could it be that your proximity to the energy source, to Gnosis, might have overloaded the teleporter somehow? Maybe? It sounds possible. Would you mind visiting the depths again? If Gnosis was the cause, maybe they'll have some idea to send you back. It's risky, yes, but you made the round trip once, so I think your chances of doing it a second time are good. I will remain here at the lab, so I can attempt to find you with my instruments if anything goes wrong. I'll give it a shot. I can't thank you enough, my friend. Let me know what happens as soon as you get back. Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. Hello, my Cthulhu dude. Welcome back. What would you like to discuss? My teleporter took me to a strange place last time I was here. I wanted to see if you knew anything about that. Ah, yes. You speak of the breach, a shadowy place between our world and the void beyond. You have seen it for yourself, and now you know the consequences of Alethea's research. What are your thoughts? Why do you wish to return to that place? I want to find a way to free the creatures trapped there. A selfless notion. Tell me, are you doing this mainly for Alethea's sake? Or are you doing it for the missing creatures, who will otherwise be confined to the breach forever? I'm doing it for all of them. Nobody meant for this to happen, and I don't want anyone to suffer for it. No one wanted this to happen, that is true. And of course, Alethea informed her subjects of the risks. But still, she knew she could not promise them their safety, and went through with the experiments regardless. In the end, it is not a simple matter, but let us return to the topic at hand. Whatever your reasons may be, you wish to free the creatures trapped in the breach. I cannot force your teleporter to send you there again. I know nothing more about why that happened to you than you or Alethea. That said, I am capable of creating portals that link two places, as long as I can see the starting point and the destination. And both Midseas and the breach lie within my range of sight. I could create a portal that allows the trapped creatures to escape the breach, but it will require a good deal of energy. Perhaps, in your travels, you have found your way to the Library of Antiquity. A large book rests there whose pages have been lost and scattered. These pages contain records of the old world, and they are the sources of great power. But because my body is confined here to the depths, I cannot retrieve them myself. Bring 4 of those pages to me, and I will have the energy I need to create a portal to the breach. Talk it over with Alethea, see if she agrees to these terms. If you are both in agreement, we will proceed. Alright, I'll let you know. Those are the only pages you're getting from me, buddy boy. Good to see you again. Anything you'd like to talk about? Totally not the most important thing, but Ketchery and Esty gave me a broken device of theirs to see if anyone could fix it. Do you have time to take a look at it? Ah, is that so? What sort of device is it? It's a crystal that projects images of where they used to live. They seem pretty attached to it. Interesting. Well, Ketchery and Esty were extremely helpful to me in the lab recently. so I'd be happy to do them another favor, especially if it's something important to them. Did you bring the device with you? May I have a look? Sure, here you go. Aha, that's strange. Well, I must say I have no idea how this thing works. I'll take me some time to figure out what makes it tick. Never mind how it broke or how to fix it. In the meantime, perhaps let the twins know that work is underway? I will, but first, you lucky you know me, that's for sure. True. No, I can't give you space. I took another trip to the depths. Ah, that's a relief. Thank you again for giving it a go. Were you able to access the breach? No, unfortunately. And Gnosis said they didn't know what caused the teleporter malfunction either. Alright. That's discouraging. Anything else? Yes, Gnosis offered to help us free the creatures trapped in the breach. What? Excuse me, that's just very unexpected. Do you know how they plan to help? Gnosis can create portals that link two places. They're offering to open one in the breach so the creatures can escape. Remarkable. Is there any sort of catch? Are they asking us for anything in return? Gnosis can draw power from the pages of a book in the Library of Antiquity. They need 4 of these pages in order to open the portal. Library of Antiquity? I've never heard of such a place. They're gateways leading to the library scattered across the ocean. You've never seen them? I haven't. This is surprising. I thought I'd documented almost everything about the ocean, but apparently not. I know how to get there, so don't worry. I got that part covered. Alright, if you say so. Normally this is something I would think long and hard about, but I spent so much time and effort trying to determine whether the breach exists. It was all fruitless. I can't imagine how I'd ever get there deliberately. I think our best bet is to work with Gnosis to free the missing ones. I agree. This is the only lead we have, and we can't just leave those creatures stuck in the breach forever. Happy to hear it. All that's left is to tell Gnosis we're ready to collaborate, yes? I'll be back shortly. Sounds good, my friend. It's kind of dark in here. Can I turn on a light? Boom! Anyway. Welcome back. What would you like to discuss? Alethea and I have agreed to trade the pages for your help with the breach. Indeed. I am glad to assist you. I must ask Alethea some questions about the breach before I begin. Give me the pages now, and I will contact her shortly. Here you go! You're not getting any more from me. I'm gonna go make the crown right away. You have my gratitude, and soon the creatures lost in the breach will be free. In the meantime, feel free to return and speak with me whenever you like. I will always be here, and I will always be anywhere else. See ya! How did things go with Gnosis? Perfectly! Not long after you left, I was contacted by Gnosis. What a fascinating being! I can hear their thoughts and even saw visions within my mind's eye. I saw what Gnosis looks like, how absolutely massive they are. Even after all you've told me, I was not prepared for that. Anyway, I answered a few questions Gnosis had about the breach. Then they said they'd get to work right away. Moments later, my instruments were getting all sorts of strange energy readings. Sure enough, a massive portal opened just outside the lab. Looking through the portal, I saw that what could only be the alien landscape of the breach. And before I knew it, the missing ones began emerging. I went out to greet them and urged the rest to come through safely. Once they were all accounted for, the portal closed, and that was it. My friend, this story has an happy ending thanks to you. And Gnosis, of course. I can't even begin to express how grateful I am. This has lifted a burden from me I thought I'd always bear alone. No problem, Alethea. I was glad I was able to help. More than you know. Shall we talk about something else? Yes, the twins are getting a little anxious. How goes your work with the crystal? Well, it turns out it stopped working due to a misalignment of its lenses. It might have been hit with something, or maybe natural wear and tear on the parts did it in. Progress came swiftly once I figured that out. Great, it's almost ready then? Yes, the repairs are nearly complete, but I've made some discoveries that might surprise you. Namely, the crystal is not simply a projector of stored images. It's a one-way communication device. This thing is getting signals from somewhere very, very far away, and it's translating those signals into pictures and sounds. It can't send a response, though. I'm not certain it ever could. Oh, you aren't kidding. I had no idea. Indeed, it's quite a finding, isn't it? Anyway, it seems to me the twins must be using the crystal to observe their old home in real time. Ever since I met them, Ketri and Esty have been haunted by something. I don't know all the details. only that they were exiled from their home for some reason. Now that I've seen this thing, I think I understand their predicament better. Having access to a live feed of what you left behind, even though you can never return, that could be enough to drive someone mad. So I was thinking, we could undo the repairs. We could tell them it couldn't be fixed. No, I don't know about this, Alethea. I want to help the twins, but I don't want to do it by lying to them. I know it's not how I'd normally do things either, but I fear there's no other way to protect them. This might be our only opportunity to help them move on. I still think we should fix it. Maybe I could talk to the twins and find out more about it, how it's affecting them. Talking about the twins about anything tends to be tricky, but you're one of the most likely to get through to them, I think. Let me just put the finishing touches on the repairs then. Thank you very much. I will go take this to the twins and maybe talk to Gnosis again. Just gotta make sure that they know that I am not their friend. Ah, you've returned. You may recall that I have spent aeons trying to recover my lost memories. It is an exhausting effort that has taxed me to my limits. There is still so much locked within me, but I cannot access it without more power. Sounds like a you problem, buddy. It may interest you that I've determined the pages from the library might have aided me in reconstructing my memories. It's too bad I already gave them away. It's even possible that I could have learned more about you and your identity by doing so. But because there are no pages left, this is no longer an option. Oh, darn. Perhaps next time we will be better prepared to help one another. Until then, I shall be waiting. You'll be waiting for a long time, motherfucker! Whee! It's so pretty up here. You gotta hang out up here more often. I want to get cool screenshots. I'm glad you've returned. I wanted to get your thoughts on some concerns I've had recently. Might you have a moment? I always have a moment for you. Well, it's all to do with my research and the goals of it. You'll remember my studies have always been focused on finding the truth about the ocean. I know this place has a purpose. All my research to date suggests so. But the answer remains frustratingly out of reach. At least things have improved when it comes to getting assistance. You've been a great help, and the twins were unexpectedly productive as well. But it took considerable time and effort to make that happen. I'm not sure now if it was worth the wait. Was I wrong to try and recruit others? I don't think it was a waste. Now that we've learned the basics, we'll be able to help you more efficiently, right? Well, yes, that's probably true. I suppose giving up on the effort so soon would be inadvisable. Putting that aside, you might recall that I had a number of enhancements prepared for the lab. This was, of course, before we learned that Gnosis was the source of energy I sought for those upgrades. It's been difficult to avoid feeling discouraged since then. At this point, I have no idea, or even if I'll be able to upgrade the lab as planned. I wish I knew how to advise you on this, Alethea. All I can say is that I believe in your abilities, even if the upgrades never happen. Really? That's quite motivating, my friend, thank you. Maybe you're right. Maybe I don't need the upgrades, or perhaps I can at least make some headway even if they aren't a reality yet. But speaking frankly, even if I had completed the lab overhaul by now as I had originally planned, there would still be a problem. Gnawing away at me a tiny bit at a time is the thought, no, the fear, that no matter how hard I work, no matter what tools are at my disposal, I will never know the truth. This endless dream or illusion, whatever it is, it will truly never end. I will never know what it's for. What do I do about that, my friend? Do you think there's anything I can do? I can only imagine how that feels, Alethea, but maybe you can try to make peace with it. As long as you're seeking the truth, I believe you'll find answers. Yes, I think I'm beginning to see what you mean. There are those here who are willing to help me, who believe in me and my skills. Whether or not I find the answers I'm seeking, I'm not alone in all of this, and that means a lot. Thank you so much for hearing me out, my friend. I appreciate it a great deal. Of course, I'm always happy to help, Alethea. And I think with that, it's time. Yep. Check out that glow, huh? That is what we call the gift of creation. Looks like the new world's all set to go. Just let me know when you're ready. I I think it's time to start the new world. First you'll decide who to give the crown to. After that, all you gotta do is pick up the gift. It'll be the end of your time here once we kick things off, so make sure you tie up all your loose ends first. I'm ready. The gift will go to Alethea. Good choice, buddy. And with that, we send it on its way. It's time. The gift is mine. Whee! Up, 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 up. For a time, I continued to feel myself rising towards the heavens. Eventually, I came to a stop, and the blinding light around me slowly faded away. Somehow, I was suspended among the stars. In that silent void, I began to recall the full extent of my role in the cycle. In the ocean, it was my task to advise the gods and help determine the next creator. But once the new world was born, I would become the historian, eternal observer and record keeper for every mortal age. I realized then that the book in the Library of Antiquity was written by me, to preserve the history of a past era. Soon I would be starting a new book and filling its pages with all the events to come. I could sense that the gift of creation was ready to move forward. But was I? I wished I could speak with them one last time. And to my surprise, a portal opened before me. At that point, only Alethea remained, and somehow I knew this meant she'd been chosen as the creator. Sure enough, Alethea appeared a moment later, adjusting her goggles and looking thoughtful. Oh, well, hello! You can open portals too? Were you able to do this all along? I explained that I wasn't sure where the portal had come from either. Perhaps I'd created it unconsciously, or maybe it was under the control of someone or something else. I see, but more importantly, what's happening to the ocean right now? All the creatures are vanishing, and there's an odd bright light coming from the sky. I told Alethea that a new world would soon be taking this one's place, and she was the one who would be creating it. I placed the gift of creation in front of me, and it passed through the portal to reach Alethea. My word! If only I had known all this before, everything would have... But no, I doubt I would have believed you anyway. This is a tremendous responsibility. Building a whole new world from scratch? It sounds thrilling, but there will be people, won't there? And all other kinds of life. I'll have to consider when making my decisions. I nodded and told Alethea I felt she was already on the right track. Thank you. That means a lot to me. I want my world to be a place where science and nature can coexist and improve one another. I'll do my best to bring that about. What about you then? Will you be there as well? I explained I'd be there to write the events of history, and she could always talk to me about how things were going if she wished. Good. Then this need not be goodbye. See you on the other side, my friend. See you on the other side. My head was swimming with possibilities for how the new world might turn out. But of course, the decisions were all up to Alethea now, not me. So I gathered my things and prepared to record what happened. Using the gift of creation, Alethea brought the new world forth from nothingness. Whoa! The mortals of this world developed a passion for the sciences. Soon they were expanding their cities on a massive scale and filling them with industrial wonders. Their towers of brass shone in the sun, climbing closer to the heavens every day. Their steel behemoths belched oily smoke into the atmosphere. They charted their oceans extensively with fleets of coal-fired steamboats. By the time they were done exploring, the world was coated in smog. They invented machines to filter the air and make it more breathable, but their effectiveness was limited. The people began to cast their gaze towards the stars, hoping for a fresh start elsewhere. Though Alethea took pride in the mortals' ambitions, she was also worried for them. They've accomplished so much, but what have they really learned? She wondered. How will they avoid making all the same mistakes again? She remembered her own struggles, and her realization that scientific progress shouldn't come at the price of other living things. So she offered the mortals her guidance. Yay! She taught them to care for nature better, and helped them put laws into place to limit environmental change. They researched ways to generate power from the sun's energy. Rather than leaving their planet behind, the mortals took on the hard work of making it habitable again, and the world began to recover. Nice! The beautiful seasoned jungles are the best. They remind me of the kelp forest. Amar found themselves in agreement with Alethea's call to keep the environment safe. They offered to assist Alethea by developing laws to ensure nature's longevity.
Alethea, we want to help show the mortals how to be kind to each other.
Ketri and Esty were inspired by Alethea's respect for all life. They assisted Alethea in maintaining the peace, developing laws that kept wars and violence to a minimum. In the far reaches of space, Lutra had given birth to thousands of offspring. The moth-like creatures became stewards of nature in the universe, punishing civilizations that abused and exploited their planet's ecosystems. These ones have respect for this world. Support will be given. And so the moths helped Alethea's mortals develop advanced, eco-friendly technology. As for Gnosis, although they wished to seize the gift of creation and shape reality to their liking, all their data indicated such an uprising would not succeed. So Gnosis remained hidden in the depths, biding their time and waiting for the perfect opportunity. You won't get it, not from me, not ever again! Whoa! With the help of the gods, Alethea's mortals were able to continue their slow and steady progress. Eventually, they built golden vessels that sailed among the stars, gleaming in the sun just as their towers once did. They explored the outer reaches of their solar system, terraforming other planets responsibly and building fantastic machines to harness the sun's energy even better. To this day, they dream of seeing worlds beyond their galaxy and even further, but they're patient. Even if they never get there, the price of explosive progress is not worth it for them. And so the mortals will live in peace with the gods, thankful for what they have but always reaching further, until the cycle begins anew. Ah, yeah! Solarpunk Star System! Oh, that was a really cool ending. I really liked that one. It was cool because Alethea watched as the mortals were making the same mistakes she did, and then she came down to guide them. Kind of how we helped guide her when she was making those mistakes. And of course, we didn't make the same well, kind of, we did. We enabled her the first time, but okay, but it was for completionist sakes. But either way, it's like a nice cycle of people taking care of each other, and I really liked that. And all the other gods were helping her too. Even technically Gnosis, but they're not exactly helping anymore, and that's fine. We don't like Gnosis on this channel. They just want power. But they didn't get it this time. Instead, we got an awesome, beautiful Solarpunk world with cool, like, Viking spaceships. It was really cool. I really liked that. And now that Alethea is all done, it means there's only one more to go, and it's the twins. So I guess 2 more to go. Nah, whatever, semantics. We'll worry about that next time though, because it will be the end of our journey through Mythic Ocean, except for the achievement guide, but we'll get there when we get there. I still have to work out a few kinks on certain achievements to make sure that my methods are actually repeatable, or if I just got it through a fluke. You know, fun. But either way, until then, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing. Remember to take care of yourselves, learn from your mistakes, and have a great day.